Welcome to the Bold Analysis, ladies and gentlemen. And this is a political podcast, political analysis podcast that is watched all over. Asanteni sana. Yes. Now, Supreme Court is tomorrow expecting a petition from Azimio la Umoja. I want to challenge one of the dominant narratives that have come up in the wake of this petition, that at least the 7-judge bench will have an opportunity to pick a scientific calculator and add the results of Form 34As to find the legitimate winner in this election. I want to say that that argument is very simplistic in its nature, because in terms of this, actually Kenyans expect an overall audit of the process to detect flaws, and this overall audit of the process is what will help the Supreme Court to pinpoint the avenues of malpractice or where there was manipulation. It is through audit of the process that the Supreme Court will be in a position to put each and every personnel of the commission liable for the offenses. And at the end of it, what Kenyans would actually pray for is that in the public interest, the winner is given the certificate. And I want to say that this process is actually going to help both the political divides. The winner is given the certificate without Kenyans again being called to go back and vote. Election is a matter of national security, and there is a lot of stakes that come into this. And I have been so questioning one. I have been on record talking about this. Wafula Chebukati is the chairman of the commission, because at IBC there is the commission and there is the secretariat, and is the returning officer just of the presidential vote, of the presidential election. Just like the returning officer, the constituency returning officer is the one that takes care of the MCAs and the MPs, and the county returning officer to take care of the senators, the women rep, and the governor. But there is one question that keeps on coming. The role of the commission is to verify and tally the results. The commission specifically talked about the verification process. The 4 commissioners that had some dissenting opinion on the matter spoke that verification process in Bomas was opaque. And now reports is emerging that they are willing to testify against Wafula Chebukati. There is also another unconfirmed report that the 2 commissioners that were with Wafula Chebukati have actually denied the allegation that they were hurt, and they're also willing to be part of the case. It's not yet sure whether they will stand with the commission or they will be joining the Azimio la Umoja petition. I am very specific to say that those reports are not yet confirmed. The legality of the question, and these 4 commissioners put Wafula Chebukati in a very difficult situation, because I think the Supreme Court bench might have to offer an answer to Kenyans whether the chairman has unilateral powers of just making a decision, or it is just a conveyor belt to what exactly, it's just a conveyor belt to what has been done. As in, what is the role of the other 6 commissioners? If, although I want to say that commission is more only on policy, then administrative work is done by secretariat. But what is the role of the other 6 commissioners if the presidential returning officer, who is the chairman of the commission, have all the powers to run the show himself? The process is very comprehensive, and it will not have the process of the Supreme Court process is very comprehensive, and it will have an influence on the ultimate winner of the poll. However, I also see the Supreme Court process as an opportunity to expose some of inadequacies in our electoral system, especially when you talk about the presidential one. Because Supreme Court is going to come out with these inadequacies that can help both the commission moving forward and also political parties. Now, guys, it should receive the backing of both camps, both Azimio la Umoja and William Ruto. Why am I saying so? If the Supreme Court will actually stand by Chebukati Commission, by the Wafula Chebukati Commission, that William Ruto is a legitimate winner, there are people that feel aggrieved and felt like the presidency was snatched from Raila Odinga. Now, being that the Supreme Court is the apex court that will offer the last decision, Kenyans, William Ruto, if he wins that petition, he's also going to boost the legitimacy of his government. And that is why I say that this is a process that is very critical. And now, there is an angle that have not been mostly explored by many, and that's what I wanted to look at here. The fact that the 4 commissioners are now willing to testify against Wafula Chebukati. This, the affidavit, and they're going to say affidavit, the affidavit by the 4 commissioners is being so silent. I think it is because of something I mentioned, that there was a big blunder by the mainstream media. That when Juliana Cherera came out and led the other 4 commissioners to make a very important statement on the verification process, there was profiling, and someone came up with the word, because she mentioned the word opaque. I even saw, I read an article where someone said opaque commissioners. I think that is demystifying the input of those 4 commissioners. And in this video, that's what I want to look at. Guys, kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our video. Now, today, I have an interesting product for you. Now, guys, listen here. Do you have a used, recycled, reused, repaired, or refurbished book or school uniforms, as much as also other education materials? Then I want to introduce for you a very special product that you can interact with, because there is no more wastage. Don't throw that book. I am humbly requesting you, reach out to scholarsbean.com. It is a website that will allow you, that can help you sell those materials that you have used. That is books, school uniforms, and the other education materials at a cost that you're the one who is going to decide. And remember, this is free. Now, this is targeting both tertiary, universities, primary, and secondary students. Now, what do you need to do? I have a customized link of the bold. If you look at that link in the description section of this video, click the link, sign up. After you sign up, you will get a place, just another link, add listings. Then through that, you can upload, give the description of your book or your school uniform, that one that has been used, and make the price that you want. Through that, you are going to interact with the other interested parties, and that product you can sell. What an amazing opportunity. And this is very close to me, because as I said, that the bold is beyond politics. We also have to have value addition. And this is a product by one of our subscribers here. And I want to see how many people are going to sign up through the bold. Yes, because that link is customized to the bold. Kindly sign up, and want to see you guys uploading and selling those books that are in your shelves and you're not using. Now, The affidavit by the four commissioners is very important. You cannot underestimate it. And I want to tell you why I will be so much keen to capture their affidavit. My reason being, Maina and Kiaike's pronouncement on election on results, that the fact that the results at the polling station are final, to me, I will do some video on this. I do believe that there was some gaps on that. And that ruling, I'm not a lawyer, but it was very suicidal. Let me tell you why. However, even though the results at the polling station are final, however, the commission is allowed to just capture in terms of errors where there are anomalies, because even the fact that the ones at polling stations are final, that's not the point. You can still have the final from 34A and make sure you see what the agents want to see, then you go and play monkey business, edit, change, and send. So it did not give the results at the polling station integrity. It doesn't mean they are white or rather they are clean. It can still be manipulated. Now, my question has been this. During the verification process, you've realized that there are anomalies. But here there is a law that says that votes at the polling station or the results at polling stations are final. So what do? The commission is just supposed to jot down, not those differences or rather those discrepancies, but they cannot alter the Form 34B. So what I want the four commissioners to, I'll be so keen to figure out is the discrepancies that maybe were noted at verification process. How were they? Did they have an impact on the final results? Because that brings in the question. Yes, the results at polling station are final, but here is a situation where there is some difference between at the verification desk, and you've realized, but there is a yoke in your neck that the results at polling station are final. Then you realize that this difference can have an impact on the final tally. At that point, what do? So the affidavit by these four commissioners, in my speculation, should help us really find out, did the commission note some differences at the verification process? And if it was there, did it have an impact? Because as the law says, is that the commission is just supposed to note those issues, the differences between the results, but they cannot alter the Form 34A, which is at the polling station. So they will just note it down, and in case of any petition, they will use them as evidence. What are we dealing with? We'll have to look at that in some other analysis. Oh, I was forgetting about Sarah Atieno's fundraiser. We had an extension of 14 days. So we're finishing it on 5th September. Sarah suffered acute leukemia, and she's one of the members of our subscribers in this channel. So what we have been doing is we have been running at least 50 shillings challenge. In the note that if 20,000 of us could donate 50 shillings, at least 50 shillings, we'll be in a position to help Sarah come out of hospital. We did the first 21 days challenge, and we were in a position to cumulatively pay 829,000. There was 679 from us, from Team Bold, and 150 from Britam. So when all that was paid cumulatively, it amounted to 829. We have a balance of 215. So we believe that in the next 15 days, that can be achieved. So we are continuing, guys. Through my number, we want to collect as a Team Bolt 0710 62 78 89. And you can also reach out directly to Sarah Atieno. Her number is 07 16 357 360. And I believe that would be it. Now, I mentioned the reason, one of the issues about the affidavit for the commissioners is the Maina and Kiai. Now, number two, the process of verification, when you follow whatever we were following at Bomas of Kenya, it is more of a clerical process. Ni kuangalia tu hii na hii, features and all that. And because of that fracas, you cannot really prove the integrity of that process. Now, what I would actually look out for is the 4 commissioners, and this is where they will actually tilt the scales. What was the framework that was used by the process? And in fact, at some point, Wafula Chebukati wanted the forms to go through him before the end. In terms of that process, remember this commissioner said that process was opaque. And so, what was opaque? What was opaque? By the way, their ground for discrediting the final results was that verification process was opaque. And I want to agree that at verification process, there was some dirty business. That's why you see that there was a lot of interest there. There was a lot of drama, and Azimio had really to be vigilant at that stage. So what I would want to see is what went wrong at the verification process, because that will help to point out what exactly might have happened. Now, this is critical because it borders the last bit of it. The last 28 Form 34Bs were never announced. The commission was supposed to come and announce those Form 34Bs. Then after announcing those Form 34Bs, then they come and announce results. So if they would have come and announced the Form 34Bs, na mtu angalie tu whatever was at the portal, whatever what the Form 34Bs that were already at the portal, then you could just do your summation. After doing your summation, before even announces results, you have the results. But something happened, and from the moon, those forms, it was never read. And I want to believe the last minute hitch. There was a last minute problem at that verification process, because hizo 28 hazikuwa isomwa. What came up was 100.01%. So they will actually help to explain what went wrong at that stage. Now, what were the internal plenary policies on the management of IT infrastructure? This is key, because even though the constitution, there was the debate about manual and digital, up to the 9 hours to the election, the court pronounced itself on the issue where the manual, some places manual were allowed. Okay, it was to be allowed everywhere, but there were some places where there was no manual. And people can challenge us here. We have many people who worked as presiding officers who could say that we did not have the manual. Now, apart from the constitutional framework, what were the internal policies on management of the IT infrastructure? Question, I'm simply asking this. In the commission, who are allowed or were allowed to have an access to the IBC infrastructure? Was it commissioners? And to what extent? To the back end. Now, this question is important because it will help to explain or reveal if there was any outsider was given access, and that will be audited. Yes, if the commissioners were given access, then they will help. And they have the internal networks there. There are people who work, who are close to them. They can tell us that according to our internal policies, in terms of IBC infrastructure, these are supposed to be managed by XYZ. Remember, at one point, the chair was saying that there was a contract implementation team, CIT. So that was another body within the commission there. So in terms of the IBC infrastructure, what were the policies on who was to have access? Then lastly, I am so keen into finding out the position of the commission amidst reports that it was inclined towards Kenya Kwanza. That will be interesting. And I can say that one of the problems that might have happened is at the height of this election, IBC went to the election with the Kenyans actually having a feeling that it was an extension of UDA, or rather it was an extension of Kenya Kwanza. Really, what was the conduct? What was the mood of the House? This will be very interesting. Maybe they cannot be captured in a written affidavit, but it will be interesting to capture this. Guys, that's my bold. And I finally remind you about our New advert, scholarsbean.com. Sell that book there. Don't just kai to there my kai ko idol. It can help someone. They say it's a very, very cutting edge solution for you. Scholars Bean, reuse, refurbish, recycle.